Welcome back to the channel. This is Gillis TV here today, folks, and we got some MLB rumors happening. MLB TR has came out with a rumor that, it fits the criteria, and it's between these two teams plus another team. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button as we do NHL news, rumors, MLB news, rumors, and starting tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time, we are doing the World Cup of Soccer, Qatar, Ecuador. Looking forward to seeing how that does. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's get to the video. As the Mariners went out earlier this week, traded for Teoscar Hernandez, giving up Eric Swanson and a prospect. They're still trying to look to upgrade after the season they had was really decent. And that comeback win against the Blue Jays, and they saw what Teoscar Hernandez could do. They were like, we're in win mode now. Let's get to it. And they're trying to upgrade second base. There's a couple candidates. Of course, one's on your screen right here. And we will start with this article and get into stats and details after. The Mariners have interest in Yankees second baseman Gleyber Torres, per John Sherman of the New York Post reports. It isn't known if the two sides are particularly close on any sort of trade, though Sherman theorizes that the Mariners could potentially offer the Yankees some bullpen help in return. Akin to Seattle deal for Teoscar Hernandez earlier this week, second base is an area in need for the Mariners, and Milwaukee's Kolten Wong is another name reportedly on Seattle's trade radar. Acquiring a second baseman would allow the Mariners to keep J.P. Crawford at shortstop, which President of Baseball Operations Jerry Dipoto has said the team's preferred scenario for 2023 and beyond. This even extends to the winter shortstop market as Dipoto is hopeful of finding a top-tier shortstop who could be willing to move to the other side of the infield position to accommodate Crawford. Trading for a player like Torres would allow the M's to sidestep the free agent's shortstop altogether and perhaps save some payroll space and address other needs. Torres is a former shortstop himself, as the Yankees' ill-fated attempt to use Torres as an everyday shortstop resulted in some lackluster defense numbers, and greatly improved team defense was a big part of the New York Yankees' success in 2022. Torres was part of that effort at second base in the eyes of the defensive runs saved. The outs above average metric wasn't as kind, with only a -1 rating, yet there is certainly no doubt Torres has more defensive value at the keystone than at shortstop. How Torres' glove work might translate into 2023 season is an open question, given the incoming rules limiting defensive shifts. Still, the Mariners have confidence in Crawford's ability as an elite shortstop, and he could potentially make up for some of any struggles Torres might have under the new rule. It could be that Seattle also thinks Torres back could make up for any shortcomings in the field. Torres hit .257 last year with 24 home runs over 572 plate appearances, resulting in 115 WRC. Torres gets more focused at the plate. Torres hits for a lot more power and made much more hard contact in 2022 than in 2021. Though his strikeout and walk rates actually decreased to below average numbers from the previous season, that said, there's always been some variance in Torres' K's percentage and ball percentage rates, even dating back to his best season in 2018 and 2019, whereas 2020 marked the first time Torres' hard hit ball percentage topped the league average. On the financial side, Torres is arbitration control through the 2024 season and is projected to earn 9.8 million this winter in his third trip through the ARB process. A Super 2 player, Torres has 4 years of arbitration eligibility instead of the usual 3. and his projected 2023 salary represented another notable raise from his 6.25 million figure in 2022. While the Yankees are one of baseball's biggest spenders, that doesn't mean they necessarily willing to keep meeting this escalating cost, especially if they have any doubts that Torres' production will continue to merit at this price tag. As well, the New York Yankees has some intriguing cheaper options coming up from the farm system. Oswaldo Cabrera, Oswald Peraza each made their MLB debuts last season, and star prospect Anthony Volpe is expected to get his first taste of the majors in 2023. Sherman writes that the Yankees let executives at the GM meeting know they were open for business with their middle infielders, meaning that both Torres and Kiner-Falefa could be dangled in order to both upgrade at other positions and to create some lineup space for the youngsters. The Yankees avoided arbitration with IKF yesterday, agreeing to a 1-year, $6 million deal for the 2023 campaign. There is enough turnover potential that Sherman would be shocked if at least one of Torres or IKF was not moved before opening day. Other than the newly re-signed Anthony Rizzo at first base, there's a lot of potential flux around New York's infield, given that DJ LeMahieu is still figuring out the best course of action to treat a toe injury that hampered him last season. If surgery does become necessary for LeMahieu, that might make the Yankees less open to moving a potential contributor like Torres. The Yankees seem ready to open up on the third base position by moving Josh Donaldson, yet the combination of Donaldson's offensive decline, his poor clubhouse reputation, his big contract at $29 million remaining through 2023 might mean the Yankees could just end up releasing Donaldson if they want to move on from the former AL MVP. So looking at the stats for, the two guys on the radar for the Mariners would get a decent guy in Gleyber Torres, who didn't have really the best postseason this year. He had 34 at-bats with a 176 average and only 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases. Over the course of his career for a postseason, he's had 114 at-bats, 281 batting average, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases. The season was okay for him, a little lower on the average side, 257 with 24 home runs, 76 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, and 526 at-bats. So the Mariners would get a power hitting second baseman that can hit home runs, has a bit of speed that can steal base from time to time, and a guy that is still in 25 years old, which he has still time to get to his prime and groom him to be the best he can be. Like it said, defensively, he does struggle. He's more of an offensive player, but over time, it could be the change of scenery, change of a coach that, hey, I've noticed this, maybe that the Yankees coach didn't. Here you go, try this. It's all comes down to that mechanics and stuff for Gleyber Torres. Now, Kolten Wong is a little bit older at 32, but he hit 251 last season with 15 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 17 stolen bases. He is more of a defensive player, has speed, can get a stolen base more often than not. So those are two really good options for the Seattle Mariners. But you know what? Let me know in the comments what you think the Seattle Mariners should do. Should the Yankees trade Torres? Is a thing. But we'll get back to that eventually. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'll catch you on the next one.